And we are live here in the building. And ladies and
Yay.
gentlemen, how's everybody doing? And this is going to be a very cool interview here at Transformation Greatness along with the Small Business Network podcast. I'm your host here, Sean A. White, and I am beyond thrilled to have this very special guest here. She is someone that's definitely in the personal development space. She is someone that I've been following for quite some time now. And I deem her to be a light worker, in my personal opinion. And if anyone wants to know, well, what the heck is he talking about? A light worker, right? Do they turn the lights on? What a light worker is, ladies and gentlemen, is someone that's doing the work right there, not only about motivating, encouraging, inspiring the masses, which, as you all know, is part of my brand, but she is someone that's helping individuals go down a much deeper level, right? And she has a multitude of different practices and techniques in which that she does that. Thus, this is the reason why she is considered the master of habit change. So if I were you, and if you're catching this live stream, do yourself a favor. Go ahead and invite your colleagues, invite your family members. Tell them, hey, we're not watching Netflix. We're going to listen to this because we're going to learn some stuff. And believe me, like the stuff she has is gold, as they say. So do me a favor as you're all tuning in, you're all flocking in, and you're recruiting your family members and colleagues. If you're catching us on the live, put in the hashtag live. Let us know where exactly where you're tuning in from as we're streaming from Facebook. And if you should happen to catch us on a replay, go ahead and put in the hashtag replay. So with no further ado, if you guys know me, it's all about the guests, right? It's all about my guests. So we have here hailing all the way from Marietta, Georgia, the one and only Miss Vickie Poole, aka the master of habit change, and also the founder of Stand Up and Stand Out Facebook community. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Ah, thank you so much, man. That's a great introduction. I could almost hear the ha in the back.
Come on now, come on now, come on now. So I mentioned just a little bit as far as of who you are, but I know it's so much more that meets the eye to the one and only Miss Vickie Poole. So if you can just allow for the audience just to know just a little bit more about you, let's go ahead and dive into this thing. I got some questions.
All right. Well, good. I love questions. And so my name is Vickie Poole, and I am a master transformational coach and and a hypnotist. And so when I started off as a health coach just because I needed some help with my health. And I decided that if I could spend all this money and become a health coach and help me, it was money well worth spent. Right. And then I ended up after that, I was doing so well with my own health and helping others. Now, when I say my health, I really didn't have health issues. I had weight issues where I'd been a yo yo dieter my whole life. So I didn't overcome some terrible disease or anything like that. I just got control of my friggin' weight, and which was very powerful for me. Then I became a life coach, and then I went in and got a master's with it, which so each one of my courses were about a year each, got my certifications. And then after I had been doing that for a little while, because it was amazing the things that I could do to help people transform their thoughts and do that kind of thing, right? And then I started noticing that for myself, I kept finding myself sliding back into some of the old behaviors. I thought, okay, there's something that's got to change. I got to do something because I don't want to go back there. And that's when I decided to try out hypnosis. And then I've got 5 hypnosis certifications. One of them was a year long. There's different ones from long weekends to 8 weeks to 6 months. But each one of those has little specific things that I love. So I kind of use all of them in different ways. And so it's beautiful. It helps me to help people to change their habits and have it stick. Because, you know, if you're been in this stuff for a while, if anybody that's watching, if they've been struggling with something that they've wanting to change about them for a while, they know that most of the time we can, through brute force, we can make a change, and we can do great sometimes, you know. And it might last for a month if we're lucky, you know, 6 months. But the truth of the matter is, most of the time, you can't hold that space of struggling to make yourself do something long term. It's going to eventually just stop, and you're going to say, oh, I'm done. I'll just be me. And you go back doing all your old things. And so it's because our subconscious mind is there to protect us all the time. Just like when, you know, cavemen, when they had to be aware of all the negative things, everything that was around them, because they needed to survive. And so if eating a berry ended up being poisonous and killing someone, then their radar was up. Okay, well, we need to make sure, you know, these berries are okay. And we need to make sure that when we stick our head out of the cave, we're okay. And so our subconscious mind gets trained over time what we do. And it doesn't matter if you're miserable as hell, if it realizes that you have survived whatever that hell may be, it's going to really try to keep you in that hell than to see you step outside of your comfort zone and do anything different. And that's why it'll let you for a while. It says, okay, they're just playing now. It'll be all right. They'll be back in a minute. And then the longer you stay with it, the more that little devil thing is going to be on your shoulder saying, you don't really need to get up and work out tonight. Or you're a little bit work out this morning. You're a little bit tired. You don't really need to be going and doing the stuff for your business. There's a Netflix show on. You don't need, and it will give you all these reasons to not do the things that you want to do, to the point that you, most of the time, after time, you will abandon it. And that's how we fall back into those. So I use the tools and the modalities and everything that I have to help change those habits to be more beneficial habits. I know that was a very long explanation.
No, and you know what? I totally resonate and ID with it, because I wish that you can repeat it again, because
Oh
the
God,
way
I'd
that
never be
the
able to
way
repeat it again.
I'm in 1,000% agreement, because it's something in which that I teach my audience as well, and also my clients as well. And a lot of times, just like you stated, with those habits, I the way I break it down to people, and I don't know if you had a chance to see my last few podcasts, is that there's three critical areas of our brain. We have, let me try to see here if I can describe this here, because I'm holding the tab at the same time. We have here our conscious mind, which basically is mostly right here in the front. And that's really like our logic, our reason, our decision making, and willpower, right? That's something which that we know or we are aware of, obviously. The critical mind, which is normally here in the middle of our brain, that's more so of like, what's the word I like to use a lot? That's like either a bodyguard or basically like the gatekeeper, right?
Mhm.
So what happens is that since we process so many thoughts throughout the course of a day, obviously, you know, it comes in through the conscious mind. From there, it goes to the critical mind, in which from there, it actually says, well, you know what Vickie just said doesn't make sense to me. Get out of here. No, it goes out, poof. Or if they say, well, you know what, I want you to jump or off a bridge, and that bridge is like 100 feet. The critical mind will be like, no, that makes no sense. You can be like, get out of here. But the subconscious mind, in which you mentioned, right? And I love that you said that. That's because that to me is anywhere between 88 to 90%, pretty much exactly the same thing you said, that dominates our daily lives. So it makes sense on how a person can say, well, I want to do X, Y, and Z, but in the back of your mind, you're getting those thoughts to say, well, you know what? I know it's kind of hard, this project is so hard, but let's go ahead and watch Netflix, right? And then just that little subtle thing, each and every single time you come across something that's hard or something that's unfamiliar to us, then what happens, because the mind, it wants to keep us, our subconscious mind wants to keep us safe. Thus, there's no reason why you see a person will get started maybe 3 months out of the year and then or 6 months out of the year and then it would just fall off because the subconscious mind is so powerful. So I love that you said that. And wow, you said you have 5 certifications in hypnotherapy.
Hmm.
Congratulations.
Yes, and I'm right now I'm studying another one too because it's just a little bit different, and so I'm studying it right now.
Absolutely. Well done.
Yeah.
From someone that's a hypnotherapist practitioner, I know as far as the amount the amount of fortitude and perseverance that it takes because yeah, those classes is intensive and it's no joke and you will sacrifice something, mostly time.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
get it. I definitely
Yeah.
salute you.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and transition a bit. I want to talk about your Facebook community, Stand Up and Stand Out Facebook community. Can you
Hmm.
please elaborate? Tell us more about it. What inspired you to create the community?
It's actually a community that I've had for a while, and it just keeps morphing and changing. You know how that happens, right?
I do. Yes,
And
ma'am.
so, because like I said, when I started, I was a health coach, so it started out with a health theme, right? And then I noticed over time that it was habit. So it was make lasting change was what it was before, and and now it's gotten to the place where people are really looking to be able to be their true authentic self. They're wanting to be able to speak out and maybe um, get on a podcast, or maybe they're wanting to be able to speak on stage. And a lot of it is that they want to be able to just be confident speaking wherever they are, whether it's talking to someone in a crowd or talking at Starbucks, or you see somebody at the grocery store and you feel fearful. And I've got a lady that I'm talking to tomorrow, and she has a group that are cruisers, people that go on cruise ships. And a lot of people actually love going on cruise ships, but they don't like to mingle. And so it's one of the things that we're going to talk about tomorrow with her is that, helping to bridge that gap that we have between where we want to be and how we want to act and how we are acting. One of the stories I was sharing not too long ago, and if it's is it okay if I share a story?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, uh, this is part of the reason why I created the group too, is because of this story. I went to a spiritual retreat a few years ago. And when I signed up to do this retreat, it wasn't with a person I actually knew. This woman's husband, I'd been following him on YouTube, and he said something about his wife doing this retreat, and it was in Sedona, Arizona. So that is one of the mega energy centers, right? And so I was super excited to go. And when I started looking at the people that were going to be in attendance, I thought, oh, crap, I'm going to be the oldest person there. I started feeling a little anxiousness about that. And when I got there, even though I was the oldest person there, nobody acted like I was too old to be there or I was out of place or anything like that. And I remember the first day I was thinking, not one solitary person here knows me. So that means I can just be me. Nobody has expectations. Nobody has these preconceived notions of who I am, and they're not going to call my family or call anybody and say, you're not going to believe some of the stupid stuff she did or said or whatever, right? So it was like this open book to be me. And so they had like drum circles and I would participate. And they had these dancing things we would do. We did art, we went hiking, we did all these things. So this one morning, and I'm getting to the story, I promise. This this one morning, we were all going to go hiking in one of the really high energy centers. And so it was really cold. And so we were getting in cars, and there were like four to a car. And so we were sitting in a line. These cars were all lined up. And Patty, the woman that was the facilitator of this, she was kind of going from car to car. Now, Patty had one of those personalities where she just kind of moved. It was like everything she did, it was like she was just flowing and it was beautiful, right? And so I felt like she was just flitting between car to car, right? And to making sure we knew where we were going in case somebody got sidetracked, they could still find the place. And and she was going from car to car. And I made the statement in the car. I said, oh my gosh, I said, I would love to be like Patty. And they all looked at me and they said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, the way she moves and the way she just has fun and she's so free and everything." And they all started laughing. So for a minute, I was kind of hurt. Why the hell are they laughing at me? And I said, "What is it?" And they said, "Vickie, you are like that. You've been that way the whole time." And so that was so eye-opening for me that when I wasn't worried about what people thought, what people said, what I said, what anything, if I wasn't worried about any of that stuff, I just let it all go. I surrendered to just being in the moment. I was exactly who I wanted to be. Right. And so that's kind of what I want for everybody that gets into the group. Whoever it is that you want to be, I want to help you be that. So that you're letting go of the limiting beliefs. You're letting go of these preconceived ideas of who you are, because since you've studied hypnosis as well, you know that we accumulate most of our personality, ideas of who we are and everything between the ages of 0 and 7.
I'm on
And
that.
then we have so many things that we just internalize. That's me. That's me. Somebody says, "Well, oh, go ahead. That Vickie, she's the one of our kids that's always late. That George over there, he's the one that's seems to be the smartest." And people start labeling their kids, and
Absolutely.
it's not meant to be anything derogatory or to hold them back in any way. But kids take all that in, like, "Oh, that must be who I am." And they
Exactly.
start adopting that. And you go to school, and as a girl, they'll say girls aren't good at math. And you say, "Okay, I'm not good at math." And you just adopt all of these things, and none of them are true because you weren't born with any of those things. And so it's doing all these different techniques and these things that I do with my clients. I help them get back to that place where it's okay to just be free spirits and to be who you want to be and not hold yourself back.
And you know something, that's one of the most powerful things, to be able to help a person become their true authentic self, because I can definitely tell you from my experience, and that's why I'm just so much of a fan of just this culture industry and hypnotherapy and NLP, because going through the training, going through the experience, and being hypnotized and doing the work myself, I just see the power of it. And it's just such a beautiful modality. And I just wish that more people will be open minded, if nothing else, right? Just to inquire, because just like you stated, we adopted so many other people's ideologies, right? I mean, from religion to television to now social media, obviously, to
School,
everything else.
school's a big one.
Yeah, school is a huge one. And so with all of that, and I've come across individuals that say like, man, I would love to get the help, but I don't even know where even to start. I don't even know where to even begin. And people are just walking around and they're so, what's what I'm looking for? Overloaded
Mm,
with message units coming left and right, left and right. And they just feel like, as far as like, you know what, there's no hope. And
yeah.
when a person feels like that, they feel isolated. Yeah, it's tough sledding. So I get it. I totally get it. And that's why, again, I just love this modality. I love everything in which that you stand for. I love your live streams and your message. And it's
Thank
just
you.
like it's just amazing stuff. And that's just why I identified you as being a light worker, because
Yeah. Well, I do pour into my stand up and stand out community a lot. I go live in there every single day with an affirmation and a journal prompt. And I was telling somebody about it the other day, and they said, "Well, I said, well, my affirmation and journal prompts are not just me getting up there and saying, well, this is your affirmation, this is your journal prompt, and have a good day." I said, "We have conversations. Sometimes that affirmation and journal prompt is a 30 minutes to an hour conversation, you
absolutely.
know? So it's a lot more than just that. It's, interacting with people and giving them stories and helping them see how those affirmations and journal prompts can affect their lives. And so it's a beautiful thing. And it's funny because I had a business coach um, tell me that I needed to just only go in the group once a week. not to do the everyday thing, because that's
Mm-hmm.
what typically you do. And then the group, it just works on its own, and you
Correct.
might interact a little bit
Right.
or put a little post in and everything.
Right.
And
Right.
I said, but I said, I love it. I love, it's like my beacon of light, and I'm their beacon of light. So it's the connection with them that just really lights up and starts my day amazingly well. And so I don't see it being any different anytime soon. And the funny thing is, I had a conversation with her quite a while back, and she said, she said, I'm so glad that you have boundaries on that. And you knew that that's something that you wanted to do. And you said, I appreciate your input, but no, I'm going every day just like I like to do. And that's just it, because it works for me. Now, it doesn't work for everybody. Not everybody's going to want to do that. But for now, I'm not saying that I'll do that for the rest of my life, for heaven's sakes. Who knows where that'll take me. But for now and for the foreseeable future, that's how I like spending my day, or part of my day.
Indeed, indeed. And as long as it makes you happy and it makes your soul light up, then hey, go for it.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah.
Vickie, if you can tell us more about Master of Habit Change, what does that all consist of with you? I believe that you alluded to it earlier, as far as in the interview, but maybe you can go to a little bit more in depth, since that we have about, 21 minutes in.
Okay. All right. So when I studied to be a master of habit change, it was amazing, because I was looking for something that did something more. It kind of dug in deep, right? Now, this is before I got into hypnosis. I didn't realize at the time that the course actually had NLP, EFT, hypnosis, oh my gosh, some visualizations. There was just so many little pieces of all of that were in there.
Biofeedback as well?
Pardon?
Biofeedback?
Yes. I mean, and they didn't call it a hypnosis course at all, because it just had little bits and pieces. It's like, when you want to help somebody make this change, this is one of the things that'll help you. And so I learned so many techniques that are just kind of blow your mind, from just having this visual of you doing the thing that you don't want to do, and another picture of you doing the thing you do want to do, and you shatter the picture of the other one, and it's a lot more than this, and then you bring the other one into you, and it's like, it does something, right? And so I use like a lot of visualizations when it comes to doing a lot of the change work. It's not just hypnosis. And the cool thing to me is, as a transformational coach, I feel like it is because as I learned it, it had all these little pieces in there. And so when I learned hypnosis, it's interesting because you went to HMI as well, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So we went to school for a year, we learned hypnosis, but we also learned so many other little pieces of stuff, right?
Oh, wow.
I mean, dream interpretation, handwriting analysis. We learned NLP.
It's so much.
There's so much. And
so
just that alone would make a huge difference for somebody. But then I felt like I needed more, because sometimes I felt like when I was hypnotizing people using their modality, I wasn't getting what I wanted. And so I said, okay, well, let me see what else is there out there. And I started looking. And so it's like, what works for one person may not work for the next one. And
that's correct.
Having all these ways of doing things so that you can always effectively work with someone.
Absolutely.
And one of the things I think, because you mentioned earlier that sometimes people are a little scared or, apprehensive about hypnosis. And it's because of all the stuff they've seen on TV, all these shows where they hypnotize them to where, when I say the word rooster, you're going to go rob this bank,
right.
all that stuff.
Thank you.
And, and if that were to happen, that person wanted to rob that bank before they ever sat in that chair. That's just all it is to it.
Thank you.
And I can give, we don't have a lot of time though, right? So I don't want to give a really big example of that. But I will say that people don't realize that we're under hypnosis all the time. When you sit down and you watch TV and you feel the emotions of the character that you're watching, and you cry when they're hurt, you cry when they cry, that's hypnotized. You are under hypnosis. When those commercials come on TV and they're showing those potato chips and you haven't thought about a potato chip, but now you want one so bad, that's hypnosis. You get behind the wheel of a car and you drive from point A to point B, you get to point B and you think, how the hell did I get here? I don't even remember the red lights, the stop signs. I don't remember anything because I was off in my zone. You're under hypnosis. When you do things like that, you are under hypnosis. And I even had someone on one of my lives the other day, as we were talking about some of this stuff. She said, then what do you do? And I said, if you catch yourself into this place of feeling that way, you're feeling like you're not aware of things and all of that, then you can actually catch yourself out of hypnosis, just like you do in hypnosis. And so that's a really cool thing for people to realize. If they start falling into prey to that stuff, count yourself out of hypnosis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're out. And you don't fall into that thing, because those people spend millions or billions of dollars to know exactly how to affect your subconscious mind.
Yep. Agreed. 1,000%. Yeah. You know what? It's so refreshing speaking with another one. I'm sorry, not with another one. Excuse me. I apologize. It's always great to speak with another professional that's in my space, because you understand the power of this modality and you understand on the impact in a positive manner it can do for individuals far and wide. And it's just refreshing to hear, because this is something like been speaking with a few colleagues, and my goal is to create a summit around this, really to introduce others to hypnosis. What is hypnotherapy? What is the benefits of it, right? And just how can it help? And it's just a beautiful thing. So I'm so happy and thankful that you have been able to articulate and even share, some examples on how it can help. But also, you did mention too that with hypnotherapy, it's not just hypnosis. It's so much more to this beautiful practice. And when done correctly, with a person that has morals and ethics, because there are morals and ethics, ladies and gentlemen. Don't trust me. The work that we do, we are held under a strict set of guidelines. I can tell you that. But when you're with the right therapist, man, I tell you, just seeing the change within people in such a positive manner, it's just something that's beautiful. And I just wish that everybody would know about it. So we have about a few more minutes here. Miss Vickie, how can others get a hold of you? Because you are all over the place. But for those that maybe just watch this or catch on the replay, and they're like, man, I would love to find out more about her, because she is glowing even as we speak. How can they get a hold of you?
Well, the easiest way is to find me on Facebook or on Instagram. On Instagram, I'm the_enlightened_peach, because that's my business name, is the Enlightened Peach, being from Georgia, of course. And then on Facebook, you can find me I have a business page on there, the Enlightened Peach, but you can always reach me at Vickie Poole on my Facebook page. I think it's Vickie Sue Poole on my Facebook page. But if anybody wants to come and check out our Facebook group, you go to VickiePoole.com, and that'll take you into that Facebook group. And then you have to answer some questions to get in there. And Vickie Poole is just like it's spelled right up here. For those that can't see it, maybe you're listening, it's VickiePoole.com. And then, I have a link tree. I'm on LinkedIn. I am on TikTok. There's a lot of places. I don't do my TikTok very often, to be honest with you, because it's like, I know I should, but it's like, where am I spending my time right now? Do I have the bandwidth to do one more right now? No. Especially right now, I've got this masterclass coming up. And that'll be anybody that might be interested in the masterclass, I guess. Is it where they will put comments and you can see the comments?
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
Okay. So if you're interested in coming to the masterclass where I have partnered with a person, a woman, her name is Laura Westman, and she's an improv instructor. And then I'm a transformational coach and a hypnotist, and we've married those two modalities together, so we make it fun and instructive, and it's just amazing. And it's called Unlock Your Brilliance Masterclass. So if you'd like an invite to come to that, and it's like I said, it's Tuesday evening, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Just put invite in the comments, and then I'll make sure that I get the invite to you so that you can come, because it's going to be amazing.
Did I sign up for that class?
I don't think you did.
Okay, you definitely have to send that to me. And
Okay, I'll
also,
send you the link.
I believe that, am I a member of your community, of your Facebook
Yes,
community?
yes, yes,
Okay,
you are. Yeah,
awesome, awesome,
I'm
awesome.
pretty sure. Yeah.
Excellent. Miss Poole, I know that you're a very busy woman and everybody wants a piece of your time. So with that being said, do you have any final words for the listening audience? Any encouraging words, anything in which you feel that would be beneficial for the listening audience?
Well, I do have something. Hopefully, it's not going to take too long for you.
Okay.
But I think one of the things that we need to be really, really mindful of is keeping our word to ourselves. And the reason I say that is we're training our subconscious mind all the time as to what it thinks is possible. And so, let's say, for instance, if you tell yourself that you're going to get up and go exercise in the morning, you're going to go for a walk, and you wake up and you say, oh, I don't really feel like it. And you go back and you hit the snooze and you go back to bed. So your subconscious mind is saying, okay, I see how this is. She doesn't do that when she said she would. And you do that several days in a row. And then the next time you wake up and you think, yes, I'm going to go work out, your subconscious mind will be telling you, you know how comfortable the bed is. You know how tired you are. And it will give you all the reasons why you shouldn't go. So
Correct.
on the other hand, what I tell my clients to do is, if you say you're going to get up and you're going to go for a walk in the morning, you put your tennis shoes over somewhere in your room. When you wake up, I don't care if you're tired as hell, you get up, you put on your shoes, you walk out the door, and all you really have to do to trick your subconscious mind is walk down the stairs, walk out from the house, and come right back. If you don't feel like continuing, come back, take off your shoes, go back to bed. But you did go for your walk. And so you keep doing that, and then it'll be your best accountability partner. Because after you've done that for a while, if you wake up and you don't want to go, your subconscious mind's going to say, you know, you'll feel better. You know, you look better. You know, you're going to have more energy during your day, and it's going to give you a pep talk so that you end up getting up and going. So it's paramount that when you give yourself little challenges, little things that you're supposed to do, don't do the big things right off, because we're wanting to train our subconscious mind that we do say we're going to do something and we do it. We follow through.
You know what? That was so spot on. I couldn't have said it any better myself. So before we leave here, we have here the one and only Miss J. Anderson Jenkins in the building. She said hello. Miss J, we're about to end here. So do me a favor, when you have some time, definitely check out the replay. We have here someone that is amazing. She is the master of habit change. She is the author and founder of Stand Up and Stand Out Facebook community. She is a transformational coach. So you know how I feel about those transformation coaches, Jade. And it's just been an absolute joy just to get to really find out more about Miss Vickie, because I've been following her for quite some time. I love her content. I love everything which that she stands for. Plus, too, she is radiant and she is glowing by the second. So definitely you want to follow her and get to know her. Miss Vickie, it has been an absolute pleasure. I thank you so much for taking the time out to really just have an authentic conversation. And most certainly appreciate that. Let's definitely keep in contact. Let me know as far as on how I can definitely support you in your endeavors, and also send me that link too for that masterclass. And I will definitely share that out with my audience as well on my social
Okay.
media handles. So definitely.
All right. Wonderful. I will do that. And, you're going to be on my podcast soon. So that'll be nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. And well, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up another episode here of Transformation Greatness along with the Small Business Network podcast. I believe it's episode 257. I will have to double check that. But for all those in attendance, thank you so much for rocking with us. Remember, please catch us on the replay. Please feel free to go ahead and like and share this out, comment as well. And more importantly, share Miss Vickie Poole, because I'm telling you guys, she has some great content. I would just be blown away, right? And I'm telling you, these are the type of individuals that you want to align yourself with. I'm just saying, just saying.
Well, thank you for that.
Absolutely. So with that being said, we're going to end this segment like I do all my others here. And if what we stated on here either motivated, transformed, or inspired at least one person, and may God be the glory, and we take no credit for absolutely none of it. Until then, you're all fantastic. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. By His grace and mercy, look forward to seeing you all on the next episode. Have a good
Yes.
night, everybody.
Mwah.